Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people say that Brett Favre should be charged for his involvement in taking welfare funds. And I believe Phil Bryant, he should also be charged. So here's the latest on him. Former Governor Phil Bryant releases text messages in connection to the state's largest welfare fraud scandal. So he released more text messages than the ones we have already seen. Mm-mm-mm. So, former Governor Phil Bryant has released text messages and email messages related to a welfare fraud investigation, including money spent on building a university volleyball arena that has pushed, we know Brett Favre was behind that whole thing and building that arena. The 436 pages of messages were released Thursday. The messages included exchanges between NFL Hall of Famer Brett Favre and the former governor from 2017 to 2019. Some of those messages with Favre show the former governor agreed to raise money for the volleyball facility at the University of Southern Mississippi, asking Brian for help with the effort. From 2016 to 2019, the Mississippi Department of Human Services misspent more than $77 million in welfare money that was supposed to help some of the poorest people in the US, according to the state auditor. Prosecutors have said the department gave money to nonprofit organizations that spent it on projects such as the $5 million volleyball facility in Hattiesburg campus. So that's on the Hattiesburg campus. So Brian, a Republican, finished his second and final term as governor in January 2020. Weeks later, the first criminal charges were filed against six people, including John Davis, a Department of Human Services director chosen by Bryan. Bryan earned a degree from the University of Southern Mississippi in 1977, more than a decade before Favre played football there. And we know Brett's daughter played volleyball there in 2017. Messages also showed Favre and Bryan discussed the possibility of financial help for the volleyball project from Davis and Nancy New, a Bryan ally who ran a nonprofit organization that had human services contracts to spend welfare money. Bryan has previously said he found out in July 2019 that the welfare money might have been misspent. In a text that month, Favre wrote to Bryan, I want you to know how much I love Nancy New and John Davis. What they have done for me in Southern Miss is amazing. Favre wrote that he and News organization were planning to do workshops and youth clinics in the volleyball facility. But I was informed today that she may not be able to fund her part. And I and we need your help very badly, Governor. And sorry to even bring this up. That was what Favre wrote. Brian responded, I will handle that. Long story, but had to make a change. But I will call Nancy and see what it will take. Mm, mm, mm. Conversation among thieves, y'all. Days later, Brian texts Favre to say that the state auditor was reviewing human services contracts. I don't want to get anyone in trouble for improper expenditures, Brian said. So, in a video posted online Thursday, hours before the release, texts and emails, Brian repeated what he has said, that he was the 2019 whistleblower who told the auditor's office about misdeeds at the Department of Human Services. The fact is, I did nothing wrong, Brian said in the video. I wasn't aware of the wrongdoing of others when I received evidence that suggested people appeared to be misappropriating funds. I immediately reported that to the agencies whose job it is to investigate these matters. The Mississippi Department of Human Services, with director, filed a civil suit last year against Favre and three pro wrestlers and more than 3 dozens of other people and businesses to try to recover more than $20 million of the misspent money from the temporary assistance for needy family anti-poverty program. Isn't it amazing? They called it an anti-poverty program, and it didn't help anybody get out of poverty. So anyway, no criminal charges have been filed against Brian, and he is not being sued. Attorneys for some of the defendants in the civil suit have filed court papers that include text message exchanges between Brian Favre and others about spending welfare money on the volleyball arena. Mm-mm-mm. Y'all, this is a mess, and I still don't see how Brett is not charged with nothing. He certainly does have privilege for real. So in November, Brian's attorney cited executive privileges in seeking to block a subpoena that sought more information from the former governor. In March, three news organizations, the Northeast Mississippi Daily, Journal and the Mississippi Free Press, and also Mississippi Today, filed papers opposing Bryan's effort to seal any information that would be provide to the court. Mm-mm-mm. Y'all, this is a mess. This is a mess. So it's a whole bunch of text messages that go from 2017 to 2019 that Brian just turned over to the court, conversations that he had with Brett Favre about stealing money, talking about misappropriate, in other words, stealing. Y'all, please tell me what you think. It's amazing how all this money is stolen, and the main characters in the whole thing, they won't put charges on them. And Brett Favre is out here trying to sue other people for talking about the entire welfare scandal that's going on in Mississippi. Please tell me what you think, y'all. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.